Okay, welcome back to, that's right, another video. And I'm gonna get myself positioned, assume the position, so I can talk to you guys. So welcome back, and today I'm talking about whether I'm gonna compete again, amongst other things, and also some physique goals that I'm currently on track with, or what my physique goals are, why, and all of these beautiful things in between. So it's a bit overcast here in the Gold Coast, but I've got nothing to complain about because we're not in lockdown, which is pretty damn awesome. It's a bit shit for the people who are. Brisbane recently went into a 3-day lockdown. Hopefully it won't be, but we'll see. We've all got to do our due diligence, guys. So whether there's something going beyond our control, we don't know, but still just do the right things where we can, and hopefully we can put this behind us, although it will remain as a bit of an accolade, I'm sure, excuse me, in the history of humankind. So anyway, so it's a little bit bright, so I got my glasses on, so blue eyes are really sensitive. So am I gonna compete again? Well, spoiler alert, yes. Is it anytime soon? No. Sorry to disappoint you. Why? People said, are you going to compete again? Why? What's the goal, etc. So I just wanted to really use this video to talk through it. As I've aforementioned in my last video, I'm going to do, as always, a compendium, a variety of vlogs, training, nutrition, lifestyle. I want to keep them, as always, raw and real for the most part. There'll be different sort of more cinematic ones, some more on nutrition, some are a bit of fun. But a lot of like face to camera, just really giving you guys good, insightful information and keeping it fun to watch too, with some of all this B-roll, which is playing now, hopefully, behind when I'm talking, and showing you kind of what I'm doing with my training and my current physique, etc. So in the last vlog, I talked about, you know, the current condition of affairs in terms of I had a C5 that was torn and a bit of a rupture in C6 in my cervical spine. And that has obviously limited me to not being able to do the free weight or the big compound lifts, which I usually really love to do. However, if you can load a muscle, you can grow a muscle. I'm just giving you the shorts from the last one, and you can still progress, and always believe in leading by example. So I'm very much a bro bodybuilder at the minute, but I'm now able to pump a lot of volume back into my actual training, because as of 2020 there was a lot of obstacles apart from the obvious, but there was a lot of things that I went through, surgery, you know, not being able to train with the volume that I wanted to, and then obviously getting this in the spine and having to reduce the inflammation. So, you know, with all that said, progress was still made in every aspect, but it wasn't as fast as I'd liked. So now that I'm able to load the muscles, I've got a clear run, and, you know, touch wood, things will remain open within gyms. If not, I'll have to buy a home one this time. I can selfishly still keep progressing my physique. So at the moment, and I'll probably do a more in-depth video of my split. I think it'll be fun. I'll do like a little bit of a whiteboarding session, and or just break them down into individual sessions. I think that's better for you guys watching. So I am currently doing a 5-day split, and it follows a regime at the minute of a lower, push, pull, off, full lower, full upper body. So it's full upper body today. I'm going to get some shots in here as well for another video of that, and talk you through some technique things and also some exercise variations and the importance of them. So it's a 5-day split. Calorie wise, it's around 3,500 at the minute and climbing. Now that my training volume has gone up, I am one of those freaks where I can eat an incredible amount of food and not really gain that much weight. So I really need to push my carbohydrates up, fundamentally calorie goal in general, to actually facilitate growth. And then obviously I need a certain amount of volume, which is happening now. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm in this phase where now I'm loading the muscles, as I've said, so I'm going to be choosing different variants. I'm going to be playing around with what I can get away with. I'm probably not going to go back squat, bench and dead super heavy anytime soon, because I'd rather stay on track than flare the C5 up again and then risk going backwards and all those things. So I will use free weights where possible in between, but I probably won't do them to the same intensity than I have done in the past, although I'll miss those movements. Proud to say I've hit some pretty impressive numbers, so that kind of fuels the ego in some respects. But at the same time, it would be nice to to get back to those numbers and make them feel really, really good and not have any flare-ups. So I think I'm just going to balance the volume and the intensity by putting them in infrequently and using them more as always, a strength and a skill exercise rather than actually putting the volume in on them. So I'll just use it for maybe 3 to 4 warm-ups with the top set, see how it feels, back it off, and then get my volume elsewhere. In terms of why I'm not going to compete anytime soon, well, as some of you may know who've competed, competing, if you're going to do it properly, it requires absolutely everything. If you are to get completely conditioned, completely shredded, and you are taking this seriously and not having to go at anyone who doesn't, but it's something that you can't just pay and play. You know, you have to come with a certain package. It's not like golf. You can't just go buy the clubs and the balls, etc. You know, you've literally got to get yourself to a certain level of conditioning with lean tissue and body fat. And quite frankly, I want to get to a place where I'm happy with my physique first and foremost, and achieve the goals that I want in the realms of business, also in the physique and aesthetic goals, before I step on stage again and actually present a package that I want to present. Now, some may say that's a bit of a cop-out, and fair enough, right? You know, you can always say when, but the reality of it is, as a lifelong natural athlete, because that is important to understand, because if you are taking performance-enhancing drugs, you probably could compete a bit more frequently because the progress will be a little bit more aggressive. Nothing against people who do, it's just not my jam, it's not my bag. You don't have to do it. I don't want to get that big. I am not a tall guy, I would look ridiculous. I'd rather focus on quality and aesthetics while still complementing my features, my limb length, and what I've got to play with. So in terms of competing, it's not necessarily about a timeline, but it's more about getting my physique to a certain point. So I've got metrics I want to hit. I've still got coaches that oversee it. And when I get to a certain level of lean tissue for my size and a certain level of conditioning, and I've achieved what I want to achieve in other realms for now, I will jump on the stage again. It's not going anywhere. I will film it, I will document it, I will share all my knowledge. I've got a good idea of, you know, coaches I want to surround myself with and who I want guidance from at this time. So it will be very exciting, but I want to be able to really come in and present something that I'm very, 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 very pleased with. And at this point in time, although I could present something good for me, it's just not where I want it to be. I also really want to enjoy the lifestyle element. So the kind of elephant in the room here is, I help people and empower people to look and feel good all year round. People who live in the real world, meaning they have jobs, they have kids, they have contraindications, some have money, some, you know, are just getting by. It's more about the mindset. But fundamentally, I'm interested in looking and feeling good all the time in a way that is sustainable, flexible, and enjoyable. There are a lot of individuals who kill themselves to look a certain way. Absolutely kill themselves. They are starving themselves, they're doing so much cardio, they're training ridiculously high intensity with so much frequency, and you can just see they're diminishing. Their physique is diminishing. They've got no life, they can't go out and drink, they can't do, you know, like go out and track food, or, you know, they're doing all of this work to kind of paddle or sort of tread water, and it's really sad, because you can actually make a lot more progress by having more relaxed and flexible protocols, and you can actually look a lot better too. And it's not about being shredded all year round, but on the opposite side of that coin, there's a whole lot of people who are like really out of shape, who are really interested in aesthetics, and supposedly are good coaches in this industry. And I'm not saying you have to be shredded, but if you're a strength coach or some sort of physique coach, you should be in some pretty decent form, because otherwise you're not really practicing what you preach. And if you're that good at what you do, wouldn't it just be subconscious? Wouldn't it be autonomous? Wouldn't you just always maintain a certain level of conditioning regardless, apart from maybe specific, you know, times of the year, maybe you're having kids, but even then, like, you won't diminish your physique because you have the knowledge, you know? You don't really have to train that often. You understand how to adapt your eating. So that is my belief. I'm a big believer, as you all know, who are regular listeners, and for those who are new to the channel, thank you and welcome, that, you know, you should lead by example and you should practice what you preach. And if I'm not leading from the front, then it's hard for me to be able to actually preach and educate people to do the things that I'm not doing myself. Obviously, there's always caveats. So that's kind of where I'm at, guys. That's just a bit of a ramble on what I'm doing, when I'm going to get on stage next. It's more metrics and timeline. I guess if I was going to put a timeline on it, it's going to be minimum 2 years, maximum 5 years. I'm going to be looking at doing classic physique as well because I'm more interested in the aesthetics. I still want to get lean and mean and shredded, but definitely more interested in the culture, the craft, the history, being able to display something which is quite special and present it in a way which respects the craft rather than just getting on stage and having no sort of thought for the posing or the presentation and the actual process, because it really is part of a long culture. If you look at physical culture, shout out iron culture, it is definitely something that is much more than just aesthetics, which is seen to what it is these days. It's just a sort of beauty pageant for some people, although I wouldn't mind, FYI, disrupting the market and doing a bit of WBFF. Nothing wrong with that. Obviously, it's more about just the looks, but it would be pretty cool to kind of experience that, because again, some of you know that I'm a bit of a showman. A lot of a showman. So guys, I'm going to leave it there. That's me rambling. There's some physique updates, some goal updates, some thoughts and insights about competing. Perhaps there's some things there that you want to consider yourself. If you've got any questions about competing, guys, send them through. It's definitely something you should take seriously, and I would definitely recommend, if you're going to do it, do your research, get to a certain level first, get a great coach, make sure you've got the sufficient protocols with nutrition and training, and even run mini cuts, and definitely go to shows and practice your posing far out, because you may find it's not for you, and it's something that you definitely don't want to half-ass. The analogy I use with my clients is, it's like having all of the best weapons. You have the best sword, the best shield, the best armor. I send you into battle, you've never fought before, and you're just gonna get absolutely slaughtered. And that is not fun to watch nor experience. So I would talk most people out of it, to be cruel, to be kind. And then if you really wanna do it, run some sort of dummy runs first within the realms of what I just spoke about, and then go from there. Because hey, it doesn't matter if you don't wanna compete. There are many things you could do, and there's nothing wrong with looking amazing all year round and never stepping on stage. Food for thought. Anyway, guys, if you liked the video, make sure to like the video, comment if you've got anything positive to say, or if you want to see, as always, anything specifically. I really appreciate the new followers and subscribes, guys. Stay with me this year. The goal is to get to at least 1,000 subscribers and beyond. So I appreciate every single one of you. And for all of you who watch the videos and are not subscribed, please go and hit that subscribe button right now. Hit the bell icon. It means a lot. If you like watching the videos and you watch them regular, do me a favor. I'd really appreciate that. And of course, until next time, guys, stay fearless.